Hello friends! In today's video we bring you new stories about extraordinary World War II discoveries. Make yourselves comfortable and let's begin. German soldier. Sudje, Sumy, Ochterke, Graivoron, Kursk and Belgorod regions. These locations were marked on a map found on the body of a fallen Wehrmacht soldier killed in August 1943 near Smolensk. His infantry division had been hastily redeployed from the Oriel front to Smolensk, only to be crushed by the Red Army, which launched an offensive on August 7. He was discovered in his rifle pit near an anti-tank ditch, thousands of kilometers from home, almost 80 years after his death. Found with him with his dog tag, helmet, and well-preserved maps, still clearly legible. Pontoon recovery. In September of last year, two self-propelled pontoons were recovered from the bottom of the Volga River, vessels that had taken part in the Battle of Stalingrad. According to experts, the pontoons were linked together and likely destroyed by direct enemy fire in September-October 1942. Inside the steering cabin, the helm, intercom and control levers remained intact. Search teams also found boots, dishes, personal belongings of sailors and the remains of fallen soldiers. These units are identified as SP-19 type engineering pontoons, likely from the 160th Heavy Pontoon Battalion, which operated in the areas of Krasnaya Sloboda and Solinaya Pier, ferrying troops to the central crossing point. Between September and October 1942, engineer units lost 7 SP-19 pontoons and 4 boats in that area. German tank. Only a handful of Panzer III tanks with 50mm guns have survived to this day. Just one intact example is known, located in Norway. Originally, the tank in this story was also intact. It likely joined the 1st Panzer Division and fought near Sychovka in early October 1941. There, near the village of Mukovesovo, its combat path ended. Like many others, the tank sank into a swamp during an open field attack, remaining buried for 60 years. The vehicle was recovered under the supervision of the Kubinka Tank Museum. The swamp had preserved it remarkably well. Even a chocolate bar found inside was still edible. However, since Kubinka already had a similar Pz.Kpfw, a later variant, it was decided to export this tank abroad. Around that time, numerous tanks and SPGs left Russia, legally and not, including parts of a Tiger tank found near Nakhabino. The chassis crossed into Belarus, while the turret was meant to follow separately, but something went wrong. In December 2002, the Smolensk Customs Service intercepted the turret, which disappeared after that. In the end, only half the tank remained. The chassis was restored and put on display at the Stalin Lion Museum in Belarus. Restorers repaired the driver's compartment, dashboard, and eventually reconstructed a new turret from scratch, closely matching the original. Initially, it had PTS-M tracks, but later authentic replicas were cast. The tank was finally installed as a part of the diorama depicting the summer 1941 battles at the Belarusian State Museum of the History of the Great Patriotic War. Friends, we highly recommend subscribing to our second channel, WWII Metal Detecting. There you will also find fascinating videos about World War II discoveries, as well as the content focused on military vehicles and weapons. The link to the second channel is in description. Unexploded ordnance. French and Belgian search teams continued to comb World War I battlefields in search of unexploded munitions. Each year, they recover dozens of tons of dangerous shells from Germany, France, Belgium, the United States, and other nations. Though rusted on outside, many remain dangerously intact inside and must be handled with extreme caution. The most hazardous are German chemical shells, which contain glass ampoules filled with toxic substances that can be easily shattered. Between 1926 and 1928, around 220,000 such shells were destroyed at a military range in France. That area remains closed to the public to this day, as the chemicals have leached several meters into the soil. Today, new technologies are used for disposal. Shells are X-rayed and then burned in sealed chambers to minimize risk. Searchers say it's impossible to know how many more dangerous munitions remain buried. Their work is far from over. North American B-25 Mitchell. A few years ago, in Belarus, searchers discovered the wreckage of North American B-25 Mitchell bomber. For 6 weeks, the Pz.Kpfw team and the 52nd Specialized Search Battalion of the Ministry of Defense excavated the wreckage and remains of fallen airmen. One vital clue was a notebook belonging to David Frolov, a member of the crew. His name and initials were clearly written inside. Thanks to this, 4 crew members were identified. Commander Alexander Belov, Pilot Ivan Smolin, Political Officer Sergei Barinov, Political Instructor David Frolov. On Brest Garrison Cemetery, a funeral ceremony was held for 7 Soviet pilots who died on July 16, 1944, during a combat mission on the B-25 Mitchell. Relatives came from across Russia to say goodbye. The crew had served in 335th Long-Range Aviation Regiment. Their mission was to photograph airstrikes on a railway junction in present-day northern Brest, then occupied by German troops. The B-25 Mitchell was flying class in formation and was shot down on its return. David Frolov's granddaughter, Olga Frolova, came from St. Petersburg. My father received a letter from searchers in Brest saying they may have found our relative. We always knew David Frolov died near Brest. His handwriting in the notebook matched the postcards he used to send from the front. Sergei Barinov's daughter, Sofia Mosenkova, and grandson Valery Mosenkov also attended. Sofia was 2 years old when her father went to war. We received a notice in August 1944 saying he was missing. My mother searched for him, but in vain. Now we finally know the truth. He died near Brest. I'm so grateful to all who helped find him. It's a day of mourning, but also closure. As relatives wept, a heavy rain began to fall, ending only when the last flowers were laid upon the grave. A memorial plaque with the photos and names of the fallen crew now stands beside the burial site. And that's all for today, friends. If you'd like to support our channel, you can send a super thanks of any amount or become a sponsor starting at just $1. Good luck to all, and see you in the next episode.